Chair Aturi, ready when you're ready.
All righty, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I call this meeting of the Springs Municipal Advisory Council to order at 6:39. Thank you all for being here. Spanish interpretation is available. There are headphones in the back if you need, and online we also have the Spanish interpretation icon at the bottom of the screen. Si necesitan interpretación en español, opriman el icono al pie de la pantalla donde dice interpretación. So, would you take roll, Vice Chair Allen?
Yeah, Councilmember Alcaraz,
Here, present.
Councilmember Dong,
Present.
Councilmember Winters,
Present.
Councilmember Lombard,
Present.
Councilmember Reyes,
Present.
and Councilmember Norman,
Present.
and Councilmember Allen. Yes, that's me. Oh, and Chair Ituri?
Here.
Thank you.
All righty. So it's just important that we have equal participation from our council members. This is a hybrid meeting, so we saw that we have technical difficulties right out of the gate, but we're working on it. We're also being broadcast on Facebook and Sonoma TV. We will do our very best to stick to the times designated for the agenda. All big thank yous to Sonoma TV for broadcasting, Lynn Marie for minute taking, Sonoma Valley Unified for the facility use, and we have Carlos and Maya interpreting for us. And then I also, before we go on with the agenda, I have some, we have some celebrations tonight. So Karina has been our guiding light for the last 4 years, and she's now taking another job, and she won't be with us. And we're very, very happy for her, but we have some flowers and cupcakes and a card for you. And thank you. Thank you for everything. Also tonight is council member Karina. Can you pass that to Karina? And then there are flowers. And then our new council member made cupcakes. So. Oh. And tonight is Iris and I are the only original members of the council. Iris and I are the only original members of the council. And your voice is strong. And I've appreciated it all these years. So thank you. Keep it up. Here you go. Congratulations. And we will do big things. Thank you. And maybe we'll do the cupcakes at the break. Does that sound okay? All right. So congratulations. And thank you both for so many years of service. We appreciate it. Okay. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes for the January 10th meeting. We did not have a meeting in February. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, this is our time for public comment for items not on the agenda. We have a 3-minute limit. And again, this is for items not on the agenda. Please address the council when you're at the podium. Let us know your name. And we'll go to the Zoom room after that to see if there's anyone on. I know this table keeps moving. If there's anyone online who would like to make a comment. All right. Okay, if you guys could hold on just 1 second. Okay, we'll set the timer we'll start the timer when you begin.
Hi, my name is Valentina. This is Evelyn, Sofia, and Roselyn. We are dancers at Grupo Folclórico Quetzalén. Today we want to talk to you a little bit about our dance group, and also we want to invite you to attend, participate, or collaborate in our upcoming summer showcase concert, México Celebra, Mexico Celebrates. Grupo Folclórico Quetzalén was founded in May of 2008, currently under the direction of Victor Ferrer. The group started as a senior project at the Sonoma Valley High School and later became the community's first Mexican Grupo Folclórico. Our commitment is making arts accessible for every child, teen, and young adult, regardless of his or her financial circumstances, to help provide a path for them to follow their passions through dance.
We are proud to present Mexico Celebra, a showcase concert highlighting culture and community. This production will feature over 65 talented children and teens from El Verano, Boys Hot Springs, and Agua Caliente areas who will perform a variety of traditional dances from some of the most popular regions of Mexico. The event will be held at El Verano Elementary School's NPR. Doors open at 4:30 p.m. and concerts start at 5 o'clock p.m. There will be food for sale and a small pop-up market before the concert. The admission is free, but all donations will be welcome. All proceeds will be going towards supporting Quetzalén's K-12 programs and to buy new dance costumes and materials for the dancers.
If you want to find out more about Quetzalén, or if you want to contact us regarding your programs, classes, and concerts, please visit our website, www.sonomagf.com. We would love to find ways to support each other, collaborate, and bring our community together through dance.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Love to see young people here. That's awesome. Are there any other public comments from the audience?
My name is Veronica Napolis, and I live in the Springs. These are pictures that have been taken over the last few months of the parking lot, the county-owned parking lot, and the Lefevre Matson building, which had once been, I feel, the heart of Sonoma. On March 1st, Wake Up Sonoma started a petition to restore police surveillance, exercise the law, and implement security measures at the county-owned parking lot located at the post office building. The parking lot, as well as the Lefevre Matson building, have become a drug dealing hub and a marketplace for stolen goods, creating a danger and a health hazard in the neighborhood. Here are some of the things that we've heard talking to businesses. A hardworking local businessman with a young family has reported people, I don't know how else to say it, shitting and peeing in the parking lot. A man coming into his restaurant who was high on drugs and started to undress in the middle of the day. The owner expressed concern that he was afraid to call the police because of the retaliation by these individuals because of the catch and release policy, because only violent felons are arrested. The postal office workers have also reported men sleeping in the mailbox portion, which has to stay open for people to get in and out. Again, shit and pee in the room, which they have to clean up when they get in the morning. They're not trained to do that, and they shouldn't be in there. They're afraid to walk to their cars. They've witnessed teenagers being harassed at the bus stop, selling them drugs. We need permanent solutions to this situation because no sooner than the area is cleaned up, trash, furniture, shit, sleeping bags, and tents reappear, as well as the same unsavory characters. Possible solutions: have police patrol check on loitering. Also, mark and ticket parked cars exceeding the posted 90-minute limit daily. Install video cameras to mitigate illegal activity. Fence off the rectangulated area as follows with a locked gate. So you could fence off the area which is a problem with entrance and exits. I would also recommend an ad hoc committee to be created by the MAC until the situation is remedied by the county. This is one of the biggest issues affecting quality of life in the Springs, and it's not being addressed. I also recommend a community meeting not to discuss the plaza, but with the sheriffs and police officers to understand what and who is preventing them from enforcing existing laws. Because a plaza will not alleviate the current condition, only exaggerate it exponentially. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Josette Broziker, Boys Hot Springs. As a community member and a board member of Wake Up Sonoma, I fully support and ask you to take very seriously all that Veronica Napoles has laid out tonight. This building in the county-owned spot in the middle of the Springs is a serious matter that must be addressed by the county ASAP. But now I ask you to pivot in thinking about this spot. Over a year ago, there was a plan to partner with KS Maxon and dig a parking garage that would not benefit our community. It was a ploy to give KS Matson parking for a building they bought that has limited commercial use. They should have known when they bought this building. And wisely, those on the MAC saw through this and the community when the community came forward to oppose it. As we see today, KS Matson properties in the Springs and just beyond, the mess at Moon Mountain, the rat-infested pile of small houses at Boys Food Center, and the landing structure site are still a blight on our community. The only thing we may have gotten from this plaza plan went through might have been a hole in the ground, cyclone fence, and flapping torn green plastic. But now I come to the concept of waiting for Godot. Why are we waiting for a spring-specific plan? We're waiting for some giant developer to come in and create some strip mall vision in the Springs. Maybe it is time to think small, think local, and think about what we can do now for our community. When the murals faded on Plain Jane's and La Michoacana, they replaced them with a vibrant paint job. These are small businesses that are thriving. Think about Spread, Sonoma Eats, El Fioco, and all our restaurants and food trucks. The county now owns the parking lot street and will own the old Uncle Patty's parcel. Why not buy the old Church Mouse building, which has limited commercial potential? With minor work, it would make an excellent community center. Think outside the box. This does not have to be a manicured plaza. It could be a vibrant gathering spot and resource. And take a realistic view of the whole Lefevre Matson real estate portfolio. Trolling for Investors by Alex Matson. Late and delinquent property taxes over $500,000, and now a notice of default, mortgage default payments on 4 of their properties. This so-called developer is in trouble, a house of cards ready to collapse. A county offer to buy this building is a realistic ask and must be seriously considered. Let's get the plaza ad hoc back and start planning a local solution and stop waiting for Godot. I'm gonna run over. Can I let Dave finish it or can I finish it? Okay. The bottom line is that if this area was serving and being used by our community, would not be the dangerous eyesore that Veronica is addressing tonight. Supervisor Gorin has let me know that the old Uncle Patty's parcel may need a mitigated negative declaration EIR before it closes, but the deal is still in progress. What about the possibility of finding out who the new owner and cash buyer is for the 18017 highway, Sonoma Highway, as this parcel could also become a part of the equation? Thanks so much for listening.
Hi, David Iker, Boys Hot Springs. Mine's gonna be very short. Yes, hello, and I would hope that Supervisor Gorin, when she gives you an update today, can give us an update on the Springs Plaza, including why CEQA mitigated negative declaration would be required in order for the county to complete the purchase of the project. I'd be interested to know. And, also, it might be because there was a gas station there, but there's right next to it, but I don't know. So I'd just like to have an update and see where we are and maybe a time frame. But I know it's a lot of things are going on with the county that they have to dot the i's and cross the t's, that it could take some time, but hopefully we get an update. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Hannah Perrott, live in the Hot Springs, Boys Hot Springs, and there's two things I'd like to talk about tonight. The first is a missing cover plate in the sidewalk at the corner of Boys Boulevard and Comstock Ave. I reported it to SoCo Reported on December 13th. As of February 10th, the update says the county is scheduling my request. This is a safety hazard, so I'd like to ask that someone can expedite this request because this is one of the few areas with sidewalks. And right now there's a big hole causing you have to go around it and potentially go into traffic. So someone could easily trip and hurt themselves.
Can you say the intersection again?
Yeah, it's Boys Boulevard and Comstock Ave.
Thanks.
Sure. I mean, the road only goes one way that way, so it's the way that Comstock is. I guess it's thanks. No, whatever. I'm wasting my time. Okay. The second thing I'd like to address is the situation at 20 Boys Boulevard, which is the parking lot and empty lot around the post office building. As Veronica explained, some of this is owned by the county, some of it's owned by the Matsons, some is still owned by Karen Waikiki and other people. But I'd like to just say that I'm only going to describe what I've seen personally. And I've seen men flat out drunk, passed out in the middle of the day on the ground. Pretty recently, I had a man urinate right in front of me while I was holding my baby daughter. That was pretty disturbing. I saw a tent for some time on the post office property. And recently, yet again, there was a sleeping bag there. There's car maintenance going on in the parking lot. If you look at the ground, you can see that fluids are probably just being leaked out. There's bicycles being parted for recycling. I personally don't believe that many people are abandoning their bicycles that week, so I assume that there's some sort of theft going on. And I would just like to reiterate that a guy, sees me coming, whips it out, and starts going to the bathroom. He could have held it for 30 seconds. I think most of us could, and that would have taken, been the time it took for me to pass. So I see that as kind of an aggressive act for someone to just do that. And, I've lived here on and off since 2009, and this didn't used to be like this. I'm here tonight to send a message to the county that we won't accept reduced services here in the Springs and that we deserve a public environment on par with other areas of the valley and the county. I've personally spoken to some sheriff's deputies who patrol the area and with the CHP. Both have told me that they've been told by the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors to ignore certain laws that would get enforced in other counties. For example, drinking in public, abandoned cars. They've been told to only arrest people if a violent felony has occurred. So we don't get protection from loitering, drunkenness, drug dealing, etc. And that's what makes me angry. We shouldn't get less protection than Napa County. I also doubt that this would fly on the east side of Sonoma. Can anyone imagine this next to the plaza? Why is it okay here? Decline is a choice, and if we let standards slip, we will have blight in an area that we call the downtown of the Springs. This is where we hope to build a plaza, and we're allowing antisocial behaviors in the center of our community and tying the hands of the sheriff and the CHP who would normally respond to this behavior. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Anyone online, Karina?
Yes.
Oh,
good
so
evening.
sorry.
No, it's no
I-
problem. My name is Danny, and I'm here with one of our captains, Jocelyn. We're a part of I'm the founder of the Sonoma Valley Runners. We meet every Sunday for a group run. It's open to the public. It's free of charge. And we are here to propose a color run festival that we would like to partnership with the Springs, maybe to host at Maxwell Park. There is sound, but maybe there's no connection to that. So the reason for the color run would be, the whole purpose would be to just have fun. It might be a good idea to hire a DJ to get people excited about the event. Kids would wear white shirts and then be powdered on with color. This is just to bring more awareness to our newly renovated Maxwell Park and, to create something fun for the kids. Jocelyn.
Especially, for example, as a mom who has Sorry. Especially as a parent doing fun activities, healthy activities with your children where you can both join and you don't even have to run, just moving your body is starting to promote healthy activities that we can do together. Especially like I was saying, I'm a mom and I have a 1-year-old baby. So just introducing like, hey, you don't have to run, but you can get your baby in the stroller. Let's move. It helps with postpartum depression. It helps. I'm taking psychology. My major is psychology, so I know just move. If you're like, for example, let's say you're dealing with depression, anxiety, or anything, just sitting down, it increases or how do you say it? It increases. Sorry, my English is not that good. ¿Puedo hablar español? Okay. 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 Mover nuestro cuerpo y hacer ejercicio es muy importante, especialmente si tienes problemas de salud, si eres mamá. Usualmente en la comunidad latina no se esfuerza mucho el hacer ejercicio, tenemos buenos ámbitos alimenticios. Entonces, implementar algo en la comunidad donde todos podemos unirnos y advocate for a healthier lifestyle y decir, no hay excusas, tú puedes hacer todo lo que te propongas. Si no puedes si no puedes correr, camina. Si no puedes caminar, gatea, pero mueve tu cuerpo, porque la verdad, en la comunidad latina hay muchísima diabetes, hay muchísima colesterol, hay muchísima obesidad, especialmente en los niños. Entonces, los niños no van a empieza con nosotros los padres. Ellos son esponjas. Lo que nosotros hagamos, es lo que ellos van a hacer. Entonces, si nosotros queremos encourage our children to be healthier, ellos van a ver a nosotros y el estilo de vida que estamos viviendo nosotros. Y yo soy una persona que bajó 60 libras en 9 meses. ¿Por qué? Porque yo dije, ¿sabes qué? En mi familia corren problemas de ataques de corazón, corren problemas de diabetes, corren problemas de fallo de riñones. Entonces, ¿qué voy a hacer yo en mi vida para que yo tenga un better lifestyle? Para que mis hijos no vayan a vivir lo que yo viví cuidando a mis padres de sus enfermedades. Entonces, si yo puedo desde ahorita sembrar esa semilla en ellos de hacer ejercicio, comer saludable, mover tu cuerpo, sin importar lo que sea, yo creo que eso es lo más importante, especialmente en la comunidad latina. Yo creo que falta mucho eso.
Thank you. Do you have a date for the color run selected?
Yeah, we put April 22nd, so it's a Sunday, I believe, or 21st. And it would start at 9 a.m. And then it's subject to change, whatever, we're open to hopefully creating an ad hoc group or meeting. And also our club run is free to anyone. You guys are more than welcome to join us. We've had a couple of council members join us on a Sunday. We meet in front of Sebastiani, we do some stretching, and then we go out for a 5K run. Sounds like a lot, but like she said, you can walk or run 1 to 3 miles, easy pace. We're more than happy to host you guys for a run.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you for the
absolutely.
information.
Did you say the 21st or 22nd? Sorry.
It's a Sunday, sorry, it's on my, 21st.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any more public comment in the room? Anyone online, Karina?
If any members of the public watching via Zoom would like to comment, please use the raise hand feature. Through the chair, we have a announcement to make.
Okay.
So there will be a first district listening session on renter protections for unincorporated residential tenants on Wednesday, March 20th at 5:30. It will be held in this room at the Sonoma Valley Unified School District Boardroom, and live Spanish interpretation will be available. The county administrator's office will conduct a listening session to hear community concerns and inputs around the state of rental housing in unincorporated areas of Sonoma County. particularly in the first district. This will help shape the policy options to be presented to the Board of Supervisors at their May 21st, 2024 meeting. The Board of Supervisors previously heard and discussed options to augment protections for unincorporated residential tenants at their December 5th, 2023 meeting. Habrá una sesión de escucha sobre protecciones para inquilinos residenciales no incorporados del primer distrito. Esta junta se llevará a cabo el miércoles 30 de marzo a las 5:30 en la sala de juntas del Sonoma Valley Unified School District. Habrá interpretación al español. La oficina del administrador del condado llevará a cabo una sesión de escucha para escuchar las inquietudes y opiniones de la comunidad sobre el estado de las viviendas de alquiler en áreas no incorporadas del condado de Sonoma, particularmente el primer distrito. Esto ayudará a dar forma a las opciones de políticas que se presentarán a la Junta de Supervisores en su reunión del 21 de mayo del 2024. La Junta de Supervisores escuchó y discutió previamente opciones para aumentar las protecciones para inquilinos residenciales no incorporados en su reunión del 5 de diciembre del 2023. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything from the council?
No, en español sin querer dijo 30 en vez de 20. Corrección. In Spanish accidentally it was said March 30th instead of March 20th.
Any comments from council?
Chair Torrey, we have one more.
Oh, okay.
My last one is yes, I'm going to say it in Spanish first. El día jueves 28 de marzo tenemos la última charla comunitaria a través de la oficina de la supervisora Goren. El tema es preparación ante emergencias, especialmente qué hacer durante un terremoto. Tendremos invitados del Departamento de Manejo de Emergencias del condado. También el grupo Conoce tu Vecindario. También hicimos la invitación al Consejo Asesor Municipal, el grupo de trabajo de preparación ante emergencias. Recuerden, 28 de marzo a las 6 de la tarde a través de Zoom. So the last charla comunitaria through Supervisor Goren's office is on Thursday, March 28th at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7 via Zoom. The topic is emergency preparedness, especially what to do during an earthquake, how to be prepared. Our presenters or our guests are representatives from the Department of Emergency Management from Sonoma County. We've also extended an invitation to Map Your Neighborhood, as well as the Springs MAC Emergency Preparedness Ad Hoc. And actually forgot to mention also the Sonoma Valley Community Health Center. También tendremos a representante de la Clínica de Salud de Servicios de aquí del Valle de Sonoma. So Thursday, March 28th, 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. We're good? Okay. All right. We're closing public comment. So chair update. We have currently one seat available. After Iris's departure this month, we will have two. So we always encourage community members to apply. So along those lines, this would have also been my last meeting, but I asked Supervisor Goren for another year. I felt that with Joe leaving, Iris leaving, Karina leaving, and the onboarding of new members, I didn't feel like it was the right time to leave. So I'm here for a while longer. We'll see how long. So I don't think we have the nomination on the agenda this month. It'll probably be on the agenda next month, but is it? I've been looking for. Okay, my copy doesn't have it. Ah, there it is. Okay. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'll seek the nomination for the chair for a period of 6 months to help with the transition. So I just wanted to put that out there. Also, if there I just want to thank Iris and Karina again for their just years of dedicated service, and really appreciative of everything they've done. So that's it for the chair update. Thank you. And we'll move, any public comment on the chair update?
Would like our new council members to introduce themselves.
I'm so sorry. I got so caught up with saying goodbye to the other ones, I forgot to say hello to the new ones. So we have Lindsay Norman and Gil Dong, who have joined us today. Very excited to have two new members on the MAC. Welcome, both of you. Maybe you guys could say a little bit about why you decided to join us.
Sure. I'm Lindsay Norman and good. Okay. It's on. Yeah. I'm from Sonoma, born and raised, and have lived in the Springs now for 10, 11 years. I wanted to give back and get involved, and so that is why I joined. So I'm excited and looking forward to the next year.
Thanks, Lindsay, and welcome. And my apologies.
Hi, my name's Gil Dong. I've lived in Agua Caliente for 11 years. I'm a retired fire chief from the city of Berkeley. I've been a lifelong public servant. And I can't stay retired, so I decided to help my continued service to the community, and being on a Springs MAC is certainly an opportunity to give back to the community, and I'm thankful Métis is going to stay on for at least 6 months.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Gil, and thanks, Lindsay. Welcome. Okay, Supervisor Gorin.
I have to say, it is lovely to see almost a full roster here. It is great to welcome Lindsay and Gil. You were so enthusiastic during your interviews that absolutely, we said, we need to appoint you. So I'm so glad that you're here, ready to participate. And thank you, Maite, for your willingness to stay a few months. Whatever term we both decide is appropriate. Mostly it's going to come from you. You're going to say, I'm done at some point. And we probably will have an opportunity on the agenda to really say goodbye to Iris, but she and I have been joking with each other. I love your hair. And at some point, maybe in retirement, maybe for retirement, might be sporting some interesting colors. So the blue hairs, the fuchsia hairs might be able to stick together. So Iris, you're amazing. You have brought so much energy, passion, commitment, and time that you spend in the community. And I know you also participate with the Sonoma Valley Collaborative, talking about affordable housing issues. I think you did that today. Yes. Great. And Karina, do we have the certificate? Do we present it now? You did already? Good. Well, I apologize for being late, and I just want to thank you once again for your participation, totally enthusiastically. You've been with us, I think, almost since the beginning. Yes, since the beginning. You deserve to retire. And so we do have a certificate that I need to sign. Thank you, Karina. And I think, Iris, can you come up here and we'll take a photo? Maybe Maite, come on up as well.
Oh, no, I think it's Iris's moment.
Well, I'll tell you why don't we stand back from that?
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. There you go.
Come here. That she can capture all of this. Thank you. really want to thank the group of folks who came to talk about the parking lot. And we can't talk much about it because it's not on the agenda. If the MAC is interested in talking further about the parking lot and a future Springs Plaza, let's make a note of it and we'll put it on the agenda for next month. And we can have the sheriff's deputies here and perhaps Sonoma County Public Infrastructure to talk about future next steps. But last week I had a conversation with Sonoma County Public Infrastructure, Johannes Huberts, and we did agree that there will be a cleanup shortly. And we did agree that there will be regular cleanups, whatever regular is. We also talked about putting video cameras in the parking lot so that we could observe maybe what's going on. It's complicated, needs electricity, and it needs a Wi-Fi hub. We're working on solutions for that. So, and I recognize it may be a good way to discourage some of the less than desirable behaviors that have been happening there for quite a while. But it means that someone actually has to look at the video camera, and who would that be? And we don't have a person observing the video camera all hours of the day and night. But if it is recorded, then we might be able to go back and fast forward and check out what's going on. Hannah, I would thank you. I'm appalled that the deputy said that to you. That's absolutely incorrect. I'm not surprised. They occasionally come up with mysterious explanations for why they do or do not do things without throwing them under the bus. It would be good to take a name, a badge number, when somebody tells you something that sounds a little strange. Right. And if I sort of like the citizens' way of discouraging behavior. And that is, if you see somebody publicly urinating, take a photo. And it may be a little uncomfortable for them, but eventually they might get the message. And I really want to thank our deputy here today. And I'm hopeful that maybe you can had a good conversation with our two sergeants stationed at the substation about how they patrol this, what they observe. And remember, we have very, very few deputy sheriffs and CHP that are available to do enforcement. None of them, neither of those offices do parking enforcement. And we can have a discussion about what that is and how that was handled in the past. If you put that on the agenda, the next month, we can have a fuller conversation about that and next steps. And again, thank you so much. And I know that you are not responsible for saying that we've asked you only to enforce on certain laws. But the sergeants did say, disappointingly, that when we have asked them to take enforcement actions on folks who are camping in the parking lot with tents or sleeping bags, they sometimes experience negative comments from some of our housing advocates, asking them not to enforce because folks don't have a place to sleep. And I don't know that that's true or untrue, but that was what was reported to me. But we did ask them and we asked the housing advocates to outreach to any of the folks who might be camping there. And they did that unsuccessfully. But our sheriff's department and other county officials were able to move at least one individual away somewhere, wherever they now sit. So that's enough for now. But if you want to talk about that further, then let's talk about it next month. Just a really quick update from the supervisors. As you may have read, we approved the resolution yesterday after an impassioned speech from Director Tina Rivera of Health Service about racism as a public health crisis. And we had many, many people in our board chambers supporting that action. So of course we were going to do that. Disappointingly, we had 4 or 5 people who were speaking out they had a privilege to do so, but speaking out disrespectfully. And we had to stop the meeting. We had to clear the board chambers and we had to, the deputies had to escort someone out of the boardroom. It's democracy. It's the way it is. That's the way and that's why we no longer have hybrid Zoom meetings in the Board of Supervisors, disappointingly, because I've talked with many of you really concerned about the length of time it takes to drive to a Board of Supervisors meeting in the middle of the day, which puts all of us in Sonoma Valley at a disadvantage from commenting on any of the issues on the board agenda. I was interviewed today on the newest media for Sonoma County, a podcast with Paul Gullickson. And it was sort of fun and chatty, but what I talked about is my increasing concern about fire danger and evacuation. I'm going to turn in a board request for the budget hearings in June, asking the board to approve general fund expenditure to hire a consultant on evacuation. As we concentrate more vulnerable folks on the Los Gulicos campus, and you all know I live in Oakmont, and when I finally got my car, it took me an hour and a half to get out of Oakmont. And as the last cars were leaving Oakmont, the first houses were burning. That's not okay. And we have another big development queued up for planning and approval by the city of Sonoma, just north of Oakmont. And of course, we have large developments on the Sonoma Developmental Center and the Hanna Center that we might be reviewing later on this year. So I have confidence in our sheriff and how we've handled evacuation. What I don't have confidence in is the number of houses that we are building and developing throughout Sonoma Valley, and that we have a margin of safety for evacuation. So we'll see what that is. I might ask the MAC to send a letter to the Board of Supervisors supporting that when that does come forward, but not now. It needs to come forward in June, and then the supervisors will have some discussions about it. I want to end here, but I really want to thank the folks. Usually we don't have many folks in this boardroom, and I'm glad that we have more, even though you're concerned about conditions, and you have a right to be concerned about conditions. So we will move on, and I await your questions.
Thank you, Supervisor Gorin.
Iris, you get the first question.
I have two questions. One is that passing by, can you hear me? Yeah, it's on. I know. Okay. Closer. Better. One is that passing by the Plaza parking lot a couple of nights ago, I noticed after dark, a good assortment, 6 or 7 cars that were parked closest to the Sonoma Mission Inn. I have a suspicion that they are employees of the Sonoma Mission Inn. And then they could be cited, of course, and they're not supposed to park there, but you'll have to do outreach or something about that. The other,
and just let me say, I've had frequent conversations with the former general manager, Edward Rowe, and Michelle Heston, and they have discouraged their employees from parking there. It may not be employees, it may be public members of their athletic club, which is very closely located to that corner.
okay. The other thing is a suggestion for attendance by Zoom at the supervisors meeting might be to have people go to the service center that we now have in the valley and speak from there. And that could be the only link by Zoom that was open, unless West County wanted to do that.
Great idea. We're ahead of you. The challenge is we don't have technology, and it's hard to imagine the county with infinite resources lacking technology. But in the conference room, we don't have the TV screen and the Zoom set up to hold those meetings. But I do use that location to report in when I represent the county on the Bay Conservation and Development Commission down in the Bay Area, as well as San Francisco Bay Restoration Authority. So it could be a hub. And I know we've had conversations in the county for exactly that. Linda Hopkins is interested in creating a hub. She just cut the ribbon for a new service center in the Guerneville area. And I know we may have one in the north as well. So we do have, we've had some evaluations. We're going to change some of the functions and the layout there, but and look for funding for the electronics. And we hope to maybe have a MAC meeting there and instead of here. So, but we need to get it connected.
Thank you. Is there any other comments from council?
I had a comment. Can you guys hear me? So, just a quick question, or comment, about the various vacant buildings in the Springs, and if there's a plan for that. And what I'm referencing is now Kelly Moore is gone. The Siesta Plaza, of course, the Church Mouse building as well, and several other buildings. Is there a plan for those? And yeah.
Really good questions. And we are having challenges with the county, county-wide with businesses closing and vacant buildings. And we've had a board meeting and invited Economic Development Board to figure out and make some comments on some strategies to maybe interest folks, local groups, local businesses to move into some of those vacant businesses. Sadly, Karina and I both worked with the owner of the Siesta Plaza to try to convince him to keep the movie theaters open. It's just a horrible, sad state of affairs when our movie theaters are closing and the only movie theater we have access to is Sebastiani. My knees don't fit in those chairs, but it's a great, wonderful old theater. And they are working with Permit Sonoma on tenant improvements, and you will be discouraged to know Dick's Sporting Goods is moving in there. And I'm not a fan of them, but that's capitalism. So he really has struggled to keep those movie theaters going, especially during the pandemic, but also even after. So we're disappointed about that. But I think that there is hope for other storefronts in the Siesta Plaza with the new tenants that are in the Siesta apartments. It's so convenient for them to walk over to access groceries and other goods. So I think that is, if we make an effort, we locally living in the Springs, to patronize local businesses, it's easier for them to survive and grow. And we have had interest, Karina just told me today, we have interest from a property owner looking at creating affordable housing along the corridor. So once we continue to make strides, maybe with the Spring specific plan approval, that we will have more local businesses choosing to invest and support. If anybody knows a local business who might consider moving into Kelly Moore, we are not the only vacant paint store, but it's glaringly obvious to us.
Thank you. Is there a public comment? Hannah, can you step up to the mic? Thanks.
You know the drill, Hannah.
I don't know if this is the right time to ask this, but the Spring specific plan, I know there were some possibilities of changing the street to have street parking again in certain areas on 12. Is that going forward, or?
The question is, the Spring specific plan, I have not reviewed the latest draft of the specific plan. That was a possibility some time ago, but we want cyclists to be safe, and we worked really hard to get our bike lanes there. So you'll have an opportunity to review it when it's released in the next few months. I think the only date that's firm is that they hope to bring it before the Board of Supervisors sometime in July. So there will be an opportunity for the CAC and other folks to comment on it. And we haven't quite yet figured out whether the Springs MAC will be part of that. It is more challenging to now have a to MAC plus the CAC meeting that we used to have because we no longer can have hybrid meetings. And which means we need to rent a great big auditorium and have multiple tables. And there is a reason why Karina is choosing to leave. Just say it. No, that's not it.
Thank you.
Veronica,
You have to can you go
Come on
to the mic, please? Thank you.
I have a question about the police surveillance that had been consistent in the past few years, where cars were marked, they were ticketed, and then they were towed. And that has not happened in at least the last year. Is there a reason for that?
that function was not done, was not accomplished by the sheriff's department or the highway patrol. Using TOT funding, we hired a general services employee to do part-time enforcement at great expense, $60,000 a year. Money that we could have used for projects for the max. And when I discovered that that position had been vacant for months, enforcement had not happened, we closed down the funding and now we're using it for other community services. And that's the challenge that we have for enforcement, is that our sheriffs do not enforce, CHP do not enforce, and there could be an opportunity when the spring specific plan comes forward to create a parking district. And so that might be a solution, but if you all should investigate the pluses and minuses of a parking district, which means business owners, property owners assess themselves for a parking district or a community services district for some function.
Can you?
Oh, okay, let's not go
Yeah,
back
we
and
can't do
forth.
a lot of back and forth.
I think it would be better to have the conversation. You and I can have an offline conversation about this, but if the MAC wants to continue the discussion, we should put this on the agenda.
Yeah, I agree. Wait. Mr.
Come on up,
Castillo.
Mario.
First of all, thank you, Iris. Awesome. Supervisor Gorin, I just want to thank you for taking on this issue. And I just also want to remind you that, and remind everyone here in the room that there is a community, a vulnerable community who also serves and actively lives on that specific area that is being discussed. So it's often of my concern. Granted, I'm not an elected representative of the Latino community. I need to make every time that disclaimer. As a community member, so I'm just wanna keep on asking that you, whether they're your constituents, whether they're able to vote, whether they're able to engage, they do have rights. They do deserve to be represented, to be cared for, and then to have a voice in every process that in every discussion that we have that is directly connected to their livelihood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. And I think, you know, Mario, you were really the inspiration for why we have everything translated into Spanish. I wish we could translate it into 12 other languages that exist in Sonoma Valley, but it is what it is. And that being said, we will have in the next couple of months, next couple of weeks, a report before the Board of Supervisors talking about a language access program that we hope to fund in the near future. The Office of Equity, and I'm really sad that Alegria de la Cruz is leaving the county, but she and her great staff have been working on that for over a year. So pay attention to that when that comes forward. I did have this conversation with Leonardo Labato of La Luz Center because I knew that Veronica and others were having some concerns about what was happening in the plaza. This is not an immigrant issue. This is not any kind of multicultural issue. This is bad behavior. And so it doesn't matter who it is, but we as a community should be working together to work on this.
Thank you. We have some comments online, I see. Any other comments in the room? Okay, Zoom.
Thanks all, and I'll be here for a
We
while.
have a couple more public comments online.
Thank you.
Lisa, once you see the timer on the screen, please begin.
Could you
talking.
speak up a little bit, Zaira?
Lisa, once you see the timer on the screen, please begin to talk.
And I don't know that we have that capacity, but she wants to make a comment.
Yeah,
Okay,
we've got 3.
go for it.
Hi, this is Lisa Stormont. I live in the Springs and I am also a member of Wake Up Sonoma. My question is to Susan Gordon. You mentioned something about a developer who has a project for affordable housing. Do you know who the buyer is of that affordable housing? And is there like a community input process that's planned for that?
This, I was referencing a local business owner, a business owner that we all know, but his name is confidential at this point because he hasn't moved forward with taking out permits and understanding the process. This is not Mr. Mattson moving forward with affordable housing.
Thank you.
Never to be finished again. Oh, did I say that?
Okay, we have another comment.
Marcos, when you see the timer on the screen, please begin talking.
Hello, good evening. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can.
Yes.
Okay,
we can-
great. Yes, this is Marco Suarez with the Sonoma County Economic Development Board.
Hello, Marcos.
Hello, Supervisor Gorin, and thank you. I've been listening in on the meeting, and with regards to the business owners there in the Springs, we are actually actively currently working with a couple of business owners that are trying to start businesses. They're from Sonoma, so we're making note of these locations that are empty, and maybe potentially it could be where we could have some of these business owners potentially move into these areas. So we're going to be working with business owners and actively trying to work with the locations that are empty and be they're coordinating. One of my coworkers, Jessica Martinez, who just recently joined, she is actually working there directly in the Springs in the area there as well with the business owners, and we're going to be actively working there. So just wanted to mention that, and thank you very much for all the work, and we'll be continually working there to help support that.
Thank you, Marcos, for that update. I also should note that we had hoped to have the Catalyst Fund rent the other third of the East County Services Center from the landlord, Gary Nelson. They were not able to negotiate rents. So our nonprofits are really struggling. They do not have office space. And I was approached last night at the homeless forum at the community center by Homeless Action Sonoma. They would love to have access to a small office. If anybody knows a small office that might be affordable, maybe they could share the office with another nonprofit. So if you know of any, please let me know or contact them.
Thank you. No other public comment okay. Thank you, Supervisor Gorin. We'll close item 5.
And thank you so much. I wish I were like 30 years younger. I'd be a runner with you.
All right. So I think we'll do the Caltrans letter and then we'll take a quick break between the two letters since group writing is so much fun. Okay, so the MAC feels very, very strongly. And I think a lot of it was inspired by Hannah when she was on our council about street safety. So we have another letter to Caltrans. I drafted one and I sent it to Karina and Iris to look at, and Iris was like, it's not strong enough. So so she put a little oomph in it. Do you want me to read it? You want me to read it? Okay. All right. Can you make it bigger? Thank you. Okay, thank you. So this, for our council members, this is an opportunity to change anything we want to change before we approve it. We'll take public comment on it as well. Make sure that we're happy with it before we send it off. Okay. Dear Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, we are writing to express our earnest support for the implementation of crucial pedestrian and bicycle-friendly changes in Sonoma Springs. Aside from our concerns as members of the Springs Municipal Advisory Council, public concern is very high. This is the most important topic our meetings have covered. Meeting attendance and public comments in person, Zoomed in, and written have made this clear. Creating a safer environment for pedestrians and bicyclists is paramount to the well-being of our valley. We request that the Board of Supervisors strongly advocates on our behalf to Caltrans. We do wish to thank the Board of Supervisors for the work to improve pedestrian and bicycle safety in the Springs. The Highway 12 intersection appears to be improved with the signals, no turn on red signs, and the delineators over Agua Caliente Bridge, also providing some visibility. We appreciate all efforts to improve our safety. However, much more must be done, and quickly. The 2-year timeline for Highway 12 Verano intersection is unacceptable. Additionally, the delay in the seemingly simple and relatively inexpensive illumination of key crosswalks on Highway 12 corridor in relationship to pedestrian safety is inexcusable. Can you scroll? Thank you. Finally, the lack of apparent urgency to remedy the Donald Gap is simply negligent. Needs. Illuminated crosswalks are fundamental aspects of pedestrian safety, especially during the evenings and winter weather. Therefore, we urge Sonoma County to consider the installation of illuminated crosswalks in key pedestrian routes. This not only enhances safety, but promotes a sense of security for residents and visitors alike. We are particularly concerned about the safety of pedestrians and bicyclists navigating the Donald Street Gap. It is imperative that the gap is addressed to ensure safe space for pedestrians and bicyclists. We recognize that delineators have been installed to enhance visibility on the Agua Caliente Bridge. The west side over the bridge is basically unavailable, inadequate, and dangerous we got to take out a word there. Yeah, with mobility constraints. This is, of course, a violation of numerous laws providing accommodations to persons with disabilities. Other options must be considered to bring this dangerous stretch of California highway system to meet legal standards. We have suggested cement barriers in the past as a temporary remedy to safeguard the lives of pedestrians and bicyclists. This is only a stopgap remedy. Going forward, it is essential that the process is transparent. Our community needs to be a part of the process accessing needs, registering concerns, suggesting solutions. After all, the residents of the Springs and the Valley are ultimately knowledgeable in the way that agencies from out of the area are not. We request a comprehensive report and timeline for all proposed changes, including planned public meetings, accomplishments, key milestones, and deadlines. Understanding the projected timeline will keep residents informed and engaged in the process. Transparency will be key to this process, as stated earlier. Equally important is the information on funding allocated for these pedestrian and bicycle-friendly changes, information on financial resources dedicated to the project, along with details on future funding needs. Will provide clarity and reassurance to the state and county's investment in pedestrian and bicycle safety in our community and well-being. We appreciate your attention to these matters and commend the the County of Sonoma, and Caltrans for considering the well-being of its residents. Your dedication to enhancing pedestrian and bicycle safety will undoubtedly contribute to a more vibrant, thriving community. Thank you for your time and consideration. We look forward to seeing positive changes that will make Sonoma Springs safer and more pedestrian bicycle-friendly place for everyone. A response from Caltrans by April 5th, 2024 would be most appreciated. Any changes?
Yes.
Jesus.
I would like that we write the intersections where we have the crosswalks. Like we have one on, I think it's in Waterman on Highway 12. Is that in front of Parsons, right?
Waterman and Highway 12, we're gonna
Yeah.
need to put them in now.
Yeah.
It's, so,
Yeah.
oh, Pardon me?
Are you considering putting them in as like a list or like just like as a bullet point, like the following intersections
Yeah, is that what you want, Jesus?
versus like a narrative?
Either or, I just want the names of the intersections, Waterman and Highway 12, Central Avenue and Highway 12, Sierra Avenue and Highway 12, and Main Street and El Verano West.
And Verano, right?
El Verano West.
West Verano.
Yeah, going from McDonald's to boys and girls.
Okay,
We can
so
look-
can we do a process check here? Where do you want that to go? Because there's a place where it mentions the crosswalks.
where it mentions the lighted crosswalks.
It was further towards the top. Under the needs, so maybe under the first paragraph under needs.
Just on that, it seems that that's talking about crosswalks that are currently not lit. I know Waterman is definitely one of them, and I think Central is 12. Verano and oh my gosh, 12 is
No,
No,
none
no,
of
se-
those are.
no. Central is not. Waterman is not. Whereas Verano and 12 is.
But this is Verano and Maine, where it's past McDonald's, going towards
Yes.
Arnold.
Yeah, that is not on Highway.
Oh, there.
That is not on Highway 12.
Oh. Uh-huh. That makes sense.
Right. The one at Boys Food Center.
Is that?
That's not lit.
Okay. Okay.
And I heard that, I don't know if it's true, but if there is possible that there is a crosswalk in front of Homeless Action Sonoma to have that crosswalk lighted too, but that is just if that is a plan or happening.
Do we know the name of that intersection? Or is there? Encinas and Highway 12? Well, okay. All right. Do we want to add the names of the intersections? You want to add, what would you like to add, Iris?
The one where I like to cross the highway, please. At Hawthorne and the highway. It's near Spread or the beauty salon there. And it's along. No crosswalk.
Through the chair. So there are two things happening here. The first thing is that you're trying to identify the crosswalks that currently exist that you want illuminated.
Right.
The other ask is to create new crosswalks where they don't currently exist. So can we
Okay.
focus on one and then move to the other?
Let's-
sorry.
Thank you.
Let's do the lit, because the illuminated crosswalks fits under this first paragraph. Can we tab, add and tab over? It's really hard to edit live. We will be very patient. Thank you. No, it's the worst.
I don't know if you can see this, but I was sat by the mall, and this is what I want.
Yeah.
That is what I want. Yeah, lighted closer.
Those are the four Encinas. Is there one that existed in Encinas? Okay. Okay, thank you. Do we even have a section in this that says proposed intersections? I don't think we do. So we had to, can you scroll back to the top of that stop? Scroll back down to the top of the second page. That sentence. Can that sentence be moved back up to the end of that first paragraph under needs? No. Okay. And okay. Main Street and West intersection. So can it just say the following intersections? And then remove Highway 12. And then you're gonna have to put Highway 12 next to. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Zaira. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Please come back. Okay. And now can you take that sentence that's kind of dangling under the bullet points and put it after routes and in between? Okay. Yeah, and then put it after routes. Thank you. At the top. Right? There you go. Okay. All right. Do we want to add a sentence or two about creating intersections?
Right after.
Okay. 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 Okay, so can you start another paragraph after the bullets? So at the top of the second page. Right there, start a paragraph. And Celeste, can you repeat what you just said? Uh-huh.
In addition to the above crosswalks, we wish to request additional crosswalks be added to the following intersections. Oh, I should say in addition to the above crosswalk request, or clean that up, it's awkward.
Yeah. In addition to the above crosswalk illumination. We request the following crosswalks be installed? Added? For public safety. This, Sabrina, you're still on the clock for this one. All right, can you, now we'll add the bullets list of the. Can you guys remind me what they are?
I have one.
Okay.
As long as we're making our wish list.
Yeah.
Sunnyside Avenue and Highway 12 up by Charter School.
Sunnyside and what was that, Celeste?
And Highway
And
12.
Highway 12. Jack, did you say you had one? Okay.
know I had to go look on my map.
All right.
Do we know if
I've
there are
got-
any bus stops by these new intersections that we propose in crosswalks? Because that would make the argument that at a bus stop, people are crossing.
Yes, there's one.
Okay. Yep.
And there's one near Charter School, but
Yes.
yeah, there's two.
I have a couple to add if you want to do that now. Highway 12 at Fetters Ave.
That's the one I was looking for. Thank you.
A community member requested that one. And I think Highway 12 at Lichtenberg
Lichtenberg.
Ave is appropriate.
There's no crosswalk there?
No,
Okay.
no, the closest one is Waterman.
Okay, as somebody who lives off Lichtenberg and whose son walks to guitar practice across the highway once a week, there is the crosswalk at Parsons. I mean, it's right kitty cart. If there were to be another one at Lichtenberg, that could get super crazy on Highway 12 because it's literally like at 30 steps. When you get to Lichtenberg and you hit a right, the crosswalk is like right there.
I would say that it's probably more than 30 steps. You must have very long legs.
I mean, so my concern is if the request gets too long to add too many, then we're looking at creating congestion on Highway 12 that's already congested. And it's not I mean, I'm one person, one big fat opinion, but it feels like those would be two crosswalks that would be so close together. No cars would actually get anywhere because they get stopped and then they could get stopped again and then it would back up and actually could create more of a hazard.
Technically, I think they're supposed to stop anyway if somebody's crossing the road. So, in a way that seems like a moot point. And I don't believe that we have that much activity, but that's.
Is Lichten, okay, is it I don't even know how to say it.
Lichtenberg.
And then there's another one, an actual crosswalk or at Waterman, and we want Waterman illuminated.
And then you have Central Valley, you have Central, and then Waterman is pretty close to it. And then that is just like literally a minute.
And then if we're asking for one at Fetters, I mean, you're looking at like crosswalk, and then a long stretch without one.
Well, I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts that we're not going to get all of these. And I'm wondering if we shoot for the moon and see what, I mean, they're going to put, if they even consider it, they'll put traffic specialists out there to make decisions about where to put them. So I'd say let's include them and then see what happens. Because we have never asked for additional crosswalks, so this is a brand new ask, which I think is super valid, but we haven't done this before.
I mean, we have discussed it, but not in a letter.
No, we haven't put it in a letter. Jack?
Yes, something else that hasn't been mentioned that I notice every day is if there are deliveries where there's a box truck parked in the turn lane, visibility is awful. Like I won't cross for a long time because I know someone will not see me. So like the fact that there's no lights there, you're going to be hanging around for a long time and or stepping out in front of a truck and making friends with a car in a bad way. So we don't want that. I think it's perhaps important to mention that as part of the visibility portion of it, because it happens a lot. Lots of places on 12 get deliveries all day. So there's plenty of times where there's at least a 10 or 15 minute gap where it's reduced, and oftentimes it coincides with when more people are on the road.
Okay. I don't know how to address that in the letter.
That's not Caltrans.
Topography of the
It isn't
road
Caltrans.
allow for visibility.
That is true. But yeah, because it's a side effect of
No
I guess,
parking.
I guess it's trying to inform the need for illumination. That's another aspect that really causes a problem, not to mention foliage covering the signs. But
So maybe we say something about limited visibility at these intersections
yeah,
due to.
That we have concerns about limited visibility.
Due to.
I guess
Sometimes
I don't know
just-
exactly where to add it. I can't see the thing.
Or you can say something about the importance of adding the illumination will also support the fact that it will help during high traffic times when specifically when there's like delivery of delivery, particularly like Sierra for the food center, and then Central for Emolino and for the liquor store.
So maybe it's something along the lines of addition, additional illumination and crosswalk.
Will support or
Will help with limited visibility due to traffic, foliage, whatever else is happening that's keeping people from being seen.
Question.
Yes,
When we talk about illumination, are we talking about flashing signals or street lighting?
flashing signals.
Flashing signal.
But like on the sign, not like a traffic
So,
light.
so like the one on Third and Napa and Sonoma?
Yeah.
That you
Could
push
be.
the button,
Yes,
that's illuminates and it flashes when there's someone that pushes a button.
yes.
I think we should
Be
use,
clear.
illumination to me is, I think there needs to be more street lighting on top of, but I think the safety aspect is really the flashing crosswalk signals that are pedestrian activated.
Okay, why don't you change the addition of flashing crosswalks? Or I don't know if that's the right word either.
If the sergeant, do you have a term for the flashing crosswalk signals?
Through the chair, it might also be pedestrian activated.
Pedestrian activated
Activated
flashing
crosswalks.
crosswalks. There we go. Yep. Okay. Okay. Addition of pedestrian activated flashing crosswalks will increase visibility of pedestrians, particularly during high traffic. Particularly during high traffic.
And will enhance overall safety. I don't even think high traffic is important because sometimes when there's higher traffic, it can be less risky. Other times, if there's a one car,
So
on the
say,
road,
so
people can go
Jack,
real
say it
late.
the way you want to say it.
Yeah, sure. Just it will increase the visibility of pedestrians and overall safety.
Okay. And overall safety. That's exact. Could we just write that?
Should
We
that
want what the east side
sentence
has.
not be after the following crosswalks be added for public safety? Because all we're asking basically is for paint in those intersections. And I don't have it on my screen, but I think that the illuminate or the flashing crosswalks are in a different part of the letter. Is that so? No? Okay, okay, okay.
It's a whole, we're.
So we
it's a-
need clarification on where addition of pedestrian activated flashing crosswalks will increase visibility of pedestrians and overall safety needs to go. I believe
That's
it's
where
on the above
Yeah.
paragraph.
I think that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Maybe at the top paragraph then. I don't know. I kind of want to end that section with that though.
So I looked up what they're actually called.
What are they called?
Rectangular Rapid Flashing Beacons, RRFB.
Oh my
That's
God.
falls under the US Department of Transportation.
Rectangular
Rapid
Rap-
Flashing Beacons.
flashing
The,
beacons,
the RRFB.
RRFB.
You're in
Okay.
charge of research now.
Provide drivers real-time warning.
Where, that's awesome. Where would, where should that go?
Sit on the back, we've got a couple of seats.
Here, we're gonna have the picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to the podium and tell us where you want it in the letter. It is absolutely at its finest.
So it just says, the pedestrian crosswalk system provides drivers real-time warning when pedestrians are in or about to enter an approaching crosswalk. So,
Lower.
yeah, sorry about that. So the rectangular rapid flashing beacon, RRFB, pedestrian crosswalk system provides drivers real-time warning when pedestrians are in or about to enter an approaching crosswalk.
Oh, I think we're getting help here.
Yeah.
Um, if I would like to say that, and
Thank you.
it's in support of more, at least painted crosswalks. The more drivers are aware that pedestrians could be crossing, the better, as far as I'm concerned. It's especially in the Springs where we have very few actual crosswalks like that. We have a lot of T crosswalks. It's easy to not notice that that is actually a place where it's legal for someone to cross, where it's supposed to be safe. And so paint on the road at least is a way of alerting people.
So
Um,
can we fix that sentence? Because it needs to say, we need to put in the rectangular rapid flashing beacons before, so take out take out take out pedestrians and say the rectangular rapid flashing beacons. Oh my God, that's a crazy name. Beacons.
Is it rapid or wrap?
Rapid flashing beacons provides drivers with when pedestrians in the crosswalk. When pedestrians are in the crosswalk. Oh, no, at the end. Sorry, I should have been more specific. You're doing a great job, Zaira. Okay, there you go. Okay,
Would you still like to leave the second sentence? The addition of pedestrian activated flashing crosswalks will increase visibility?
I don't think so. Okay,
Recommendation that we capitalize rectangular rapid flashing beacon
yeah,
and quote with RRFP if we have want
yeah,
to use
if we
that.
use it again. Yep.
Chair Turi, it
Uh-huh.
sounds like maybe a second draft needs to be worked on
Yeah.
and brought back next month. So maybe you can.
There's
recruit
no
a couple of
urgency
people.
around, we're not up against a timeline or anything. Okay. Okay. No, we may, yeah. So, well, maybe we could approve it. Do we need more changes?
There's a couple more edits.
Are there?
But if we want to flesh out, so my edits are in these carbon copies.
Okay,
I would recommend that we put Tony Tavares as the director of Caltrans, instead of Caltrans. And then change the senator, it got changed. We had Feinstein up there previously, so
oh, yeah, that's
Senator.
changed. Okay, so Tony who?
Tavares,
Okay.
and he is the director of Caltrans.
Okay.
The very first one, so it'll be you could put Tony Tavares and then Caltrans director or director of Caltrans. Tavares, comma.
Okay, perfect.
And I don't know if if we've been working with Jeff, what's his name, is District 4 PIO.
Jeff Weiss.
We should also include him out of courtesy.
Can we break this table on someone? Yeah. Thank you.
So Chair, did you want to move this forward tonight
I
or?
would love to. But if we don't feel like we're ready to, then
I feel mostly good so far.
I think it looks pretty good.
Mhm.
There were just a couple of typos that I think we noticed where there
Where?
were two words with one like.
We
one
took that
missing.
out.
Oh, good, good. Thank
Do we need to read it again or
We all have excellent memories as to what's been added and redacted.
outstanding?
I speak for everybody.
Okay. Does anyone need to have it read to them again? Do we feel like we can vote on this? Okay. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to point out that when you guys were doing this amazing job in doing this letter, you made a comment about wanting what the East Side has. And I just want to point out that we are in fact right now working hard to bring awareness on the need to create unification and annexation. So perhaps if we had a unified valley through the annexation, we wouldn't have to deal with things like this. So think about that. You can become more informed by reaching out to the Sonoma Valley Housing Group, who's spearheading this effort. Iris has joined the housing group for a while back, so I'm fortunate that I'm going to continue to work with her. So just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment on the letter?
I've been patiently listening to your wordcraft, and always fascinating to read a letter designed by you. It's great, and I love having you all with your participation. I believe, and I clarified with Karina, that the 4 intersections that you named are the 4 intersections that your chair and I painfully work through Caltrans and Janice Thompson. They are on schedule. They're going to be installed, and you can suggest multiple other locations. Crosswalks are easier to do than lighted crosswalks. You have to credit Valerie Brown for one of her last actions saying, you will not take the funding from the lighting district in the Springs. It needs to be right here. And we're using the lighting district funding, using almost all of the lighting district funding for those 4 crosswalks. They're expensive. And even though the city was able to install theirs at a less expensive cost, they are expensive to install. So they're on schedule. And I hope that Janice will be able to be with us maybe next month, to do a fuller report out. The other question, or the other discussion that I would have for you is, if there's anything that I've learned as an elected official, now going on 22 years, is you have to be patient with bureaucracy. And patience is not easy, especially when lives are in danger. Any progress that we've made on this intersection and anywhere on Highway 12 has been really, credit goes to you. And Hannah has left, but she was instrumental. Maite and I hobbled across through all those intersections, meeting with Caltrans and the county. So clearly they know what the interest is and what's at stake. And we all wanted this to happen 2 years ago. But I am pleased that phase 2 with Caltrans has been funded. And so they are moving forward with the intersection final improvements of a dedicated left-hand turn lane, and signalized changes, sidewalk from Verano to Harney, I think it is. We are moving forward with installing the lighted crosswalks later this summer, maybe. And everybody gathered, not me, but all the transportation gurus, including Caltrans and Sonoma County Transportation Authority, gathered around Donald Street to evaluate what in the heck they were going to do about that. And it's expensive. And that tiny little block, you have to redesign everything, and you have to figure out a safer bridge access. It's not going to be inexpensive. But they all said, we agree that this is the most important project that we would recommend for inclusion for the grant opportunities for the active transportation plan. This is part of the infrastructure bill that came forward 2 years ago. Everybody's on board. The grant is turned in. Sonoma County Transportation Authority is now finalizing this, getting letters of support for this. And this was an issue that I was frustrated to learn about when I was elected as supervisor. It's the holdover from the first widening of Highway 12. And it is, so credit goes to you and all of the transportation folks for getting the attention on Donald Street Gap. We have made progress, not fast enough, but I've been working on Arnold Drive bike lanes for 10 years. So trust me, I understand your frustration. They will be constructed. Not in my term, but they will be constructed.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you for the update.
Thank you.
So
I was gonna call the question and move the item that we approve the letter to Caltrans or the Board of Supervisors as edited, with part two being, if someone does take another set of eyes, that we allow the chair the ability to correct any simple typos without coming back to the committee
thank
or
you.
council.
Is there a second on that motion?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Outstanding. Motion passes. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, a 5-minute break before we go into the Springs MAC annual report. Thank you all. Advisory Council. Okay, I'll start again. Dear Supervisor Gorin, the Springs Municipal Advisory Council would like to summarize our activities and accomplishments over the calendar year of 2023 and provide a cumulative updates for you and other members of the Board of Supervisors. Our summary is drawn from a complete record of activities extracted from our meetings and minutes. The council focused on pedestrian safety this year, and the team continues to advocate for improvements along the Highway 12 corridor. The city of Sonoma continues to outpace the Springs and safety improvements for the residents. This is a continuing equity issue for the Springs residents. Monthly meetings, the Springs generally convenes on the second Wednesday of every month at 6:30. Meetings are held on Zoom until March 2023, when meetings began in person at the Sonoma Valley Unified School District. We offer a hybrid option for community members from this location. Organizational year, the Springs MAC has been operational for 5 years. Since 2019 was the initial year following the MAC formation. It was generally felt necessary by council member, staff, and the chair to request key county departments or designates to appear before the council to introduce themselves and provide an overview of their department's organization, mission, and key objectives. New council members, Gail Dong appointed February 2024, Lindsay Norman appointed begins February 2024. We need to change. Well, were they appointed? We just didn't have a meeting. So that's okay. Okay, so ad hoc committees, bike racks, place bike racks on Highway 12. We place 5 bike racks along Highway 12 in collaboration with Artscape and Sonoma County Transit. 5 more are scheduled for placement in 2024. Utility box art, Caltrans and Comcast boxes, identified utility boxes available for recreation along the Highway 12 corridor from Agua Caliente Road to El Verano Avenue. Project proceeding with in collaboration with Caltrans, Sonoma County Public Infrastructure, Artscape, and Sonoma County District 1. Social media, increased social media presence. This continues to be a barrier for us as sharing accounts is not easily accessible option. Logo, the new logo contest spanned 2022-2023. This is still a work in progress as the art selected, which you can learn about later on, is from an artist outside of Sonoma Valley. Confirm adopt a road, confirm adoption of Verano Avenue from Olive to Highway 12, one of the main points of entry to the Springs. Plaza Ad Hoc, we met and realized that we are at a stage where it's too early to bring this group together, have postponed ad hoc until further information of progress on the plaza situation. Emergency preparedness 2.0, team is working on affirming the MOU with Sonoma Valley Unified School District. Our accomplishments, April 23rd, Dia de los Niños, Children's Day in collaboration with Sonoma Immigrant Service, Spring MAC sponsored by Local Folklórico Quetzaltán, Así Danzan los Niños showcase concert. In honor of Dia de los Muertos, the Springs MAC gifted a variety of toys, games to 100 children and youth attending and participating in the concert. May emergency preparedness event. In August, we organized a park creek cleanup at Larson Park. We created press release and flyer, English and Spanish, to advertise the event. Applications for Recology, Sonoma Marin and Sonoma Regional Parks were submitted for all permits and in-kind donations. Springs Max partnered with Sonoma Ecology Center. September 23rd, during coastal cleanup, a 10 cubic yard dumpster was filled with debris from the creek, park, and Springs Garden. The community submitted debris? The community
It was community submitted, as in community turned up to submit their debris.
okay, maybe
They really did submit their.
Okay, okay. Roughly calculated around 2,000 to 2,500 pounds of garbage were diverted away from our creeks and oceans that day. October, in collaboration with the Sonoma Grange Hall, the Springs Max set up a Day of the Dead altar in Larson Park. Winter celebration partnering with Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn, Sonoma Mission Immigration Services, Sonoma Valley Fire Department. Holiday decorations, spring winter fence, temporary decorations, and lighting of the winter celebration were installed. 2 letters advocating for improvements along Highway 12. Did we already do the 5 bike racks? Right, but didn't I already mention that? Okay, 5 bike racks placed on in the fall of 2023. Project in partnership with Artscape and Sonoma County Transit, where racks were wrapped in colorful patterns through the Springs corridor. A second ad hoc will work on the 5 additional bike racks. Utility box design. A Google form was created that helped identify themes for the utility boxes. Themes were identified and a list was given to Artscape that will decorate the utility boxes. Project is ongoing. Communication, social media, Facebook, KSVY, community outreach, winter celebration, emergency preparedness, Springs picnic meetings are translated into Spanish. And then now we have a list of the presentations during the 2023 calendar year. MAC received presentations from the following departments and community members in the Sonoma County and Sonoma Valley. Emergency preparedness and safety, Sonoma Fire Chief Aker provides quarterly updates on the fire district fire season. Emergency preparedness from the community organizations active in disaster, Center for Volunteers and Nonprofit Leaders, and Map Your Neighborhood. Health and Wellness, Sonoma Valley Hospital, Executive Director John Henley. Mental Health, Parents and Youth, Leslie Nicholson. Risk, Sonoma Valley Health Collective, Cindy Sutton, Substance Abuse Program Manager, Hannah Center, Sonoma County Health Services Mobile Support Group, Wendy Tapon, Health Program Manager. Parks, Larson Park Master Plan, County Regional Parks, Burt Whitaker, Park and Parks Planning Manager, Steve, I don't know how to say that last name, Regional Parks Measure M, Burt Whitaker, Regional Parks, Melanie Parker, Deputy Regional Director, Deputy Regional Parks. Transportation and Public Works, Janice Thompson, Caltrans, Jeff Weiss. Response to back letters requesting traffic and safety improvement, Arnold Drive bike lanes, Cindy Radar. Sonoma County Transit, Brian Albee. Construction projects and sustainability, we've done a lot. 810 West Agua Caliente, Sonoma Potential Development Presentation, Hannah Center. Receive update on the Springs Community Plaza Ad Hoc, Sonoma Water Hazard Mitigation, Zero Waste. Finance, Sonoma Business Economic Growth, Mark Bodenheimer, Sonoma Valley Chamber of Commerce. Other Community Child Care Council, Sonoma County, Springs MAC Annual Report, Sonoma County Library. Thank you for the opportunity to serve the Springs. The presentations the council receives focus on the quality and safety of the life of this in the Springs. The council interests remain high in emergency preparedness, mental health, and road safety. We've seen little progress in these areas, and we continue to advocate for improvements. We appreciate the partnership with Sonoma County and look forward to addressing the needs of the Springs. Any changes?
The only one I'm not seeing under finance is the presentation. Oh, I don't know if I missed it. The presentation by the lady who talked about the what used to be redevelopment. She just came a couple months ago.
Was that the EIFD,
Yes.
which is
And that had to do with finance because it was like,
can we add that?
That was in like December, November.
Okay, does anybody remember what EIDF stands for?
I will look up EIFD.
Yeah. Economic something, I bet, but. And then do you remember the name of the person?
No.
Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, EIFD. That's my entry for the spelling bee.
Finance.
Financing district.
financing district. Okay. All right.
And then I don't know, for like the winter celebration, we add like actual like numbers of how many kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's up at the top.
Yeah.
Further up.
Celeste, is your event listed? The picnic at
Yeah.
Larson? Oh, okay.
But it should be an accomplishment.
So can you add a bullet there that says summer picnic, summer Larson Park picnic? Remember the date?
It's like June 18 or
It
June
was Father's-
17.
It was near Father's Day. Yeah.
June 19, June 17.
Can you go give it to them? June 18th? June 17th. Yes.
Oh, and I don't know if I,
Wait, hold on, let's catch up. So we need to add the name of the presenter and then the date of the picnic.
and I don't know if I'm missing, but the May 9th last year, the Springs Emergency Preparedness event. Oh, okay, sorry.
You can go back up and.
Maybe, yeah.
As we're in this area for names, when you're ready, I've got the name for Sonoma Valley Chamber of Commerce, the presenter we had for that.
Oh, Emmy Gallagher. No. Oh, no.
I think
Who
so.
was it?
No.
Mark?
Mark,
Lauderhill?
yeah.
No.
No, yeah, no, that's, no, I think Mark should be the other way around, yeah. And from the small economic growth, I don't know who it was.
That's where I got confused.
Okay, can we add June 17th to the date at the picnic? Right there. And then can we make sure that we have the winter celebration? Hold on, winter celebration, partnering with the Fairmont. We add 300 students or 300 children, they're all students to me.
Through the chair, what do you like to out of the 300 students at the beginning or at the end?
What do you want to say? Participated or received, yes. Participated and received gifts. Yeah. There you go. And then what was the other thing? It's up there at the very top, but it needs to have the date. Yeah, May 9th. And then we're at the top, the bullet at the top of this, right there, can you add May 9th? Okay, anything else, friends?
Looks great.
Nothing else? Okay, can we approve the?
I motion to approve.
Okay, we're not done yet.
Sorry, it's,
That's okay.
yeah, the word, not
Where?
translated instead of, because it's oral, it's
Where,
not
but where?
right under communications.
Okay. Okay,
But I guess you can say translated and interpreted because it's done in written and oral.
Correction, only the agenda is translated.
Oh,
none-
pardon me, nothing
And
else.
only when presenters provide bilingual.
Okay,
And
so
sometimes your ad hocs do provide, so not all material is translated into Spanish, but we do our best.
okay.
You
So
can
I don't know
put-
if you want to make,
put some. Meetings are interpreted always, some translation. There you go.
It's translated, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's try that motion again.
I motion to approve.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Outstanding. Okay. We're moving on. It's you, Jack. Oh, wait, any public comment on our letter? Anybody online want to make a public comment on the report? Okay, item closed. Go ahead, Jack.
Okay, yes, the Sonoma Community Advisory Commission met on 28th of February, 2024. And one of the main premises of this meeting was to discuss a letter to be sent to the board for smart trains about the storage of is it HD?
Petroleum.
Yeah, the petroleum tankers. I forget the terminology they use for them, but the ones that probably shouldn't be there. That's my bias. So there was a big discussion about what to include in that and ultimately an approval. And that was to try and get the letter in before their board meeting, which I think is in a week or two. So that there was a deadline for that. There was the motion to wait until the next SVCAC meeting, but that would not work in this sense. So letter was sent off, and we're hoping that they listen to the community concerns. One of the primary ones being they were doing it. They wanted to have the storage specifically to fund a freight business enterprise that was not working. And if there is no storage of these petrol tankers, it will not affect passenger transit at all. So I just think that's important to note in this. There were a few public comments that we've heard this evening. There were some folks coming asking the city of Sonoma to unite on a ceasefire for the incidents in the Middle East that I'm sure you're aware of. And then after that, I think that there were people talking about the SDC protest that just happened on Sunday, which seemed to have quite a good turnout in the end. And the last topic that we discussed was about getting future speakers and experts on topics that maybe we're less informed on. So a couple of examples that might be taken up are having someone who is an expert on housing and affordability and how those terminologies work, because affordability is a spectrum, and there are different designations for that. So that suggests you probably need someone to help clarify what is tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And then the other two were evacuation plans. So that sort of feeds into emergency preparedness, and traffic, which is pedestrian, cyclists, and car traffic. So the whole gamut there. So hopefully in future, the plan is to have someone speak before an item comes up. And I think water usage was another. So the idea would be, let's say the SDC or HANA project came up on the agenda in June, they would try to have someone come in May so that we'd be prepared to know what we're talking about and know how to ask questions. So that's what happened. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions from council?
Yes, the SGC gonna discuss at all the safety element of the general plan, or the general plan at all make any comments? There was a meeting that was hosted last Saturday that I watched on video. I found it that there should be a lot of comment as those projects roll out.
It will be agendized. I don't know when, but I think Susan's going to speak to that topic right now.
Thanks, Gil, you may be the only person who watched that video. It was a good informational meeting. I would suggest that if you weren't there on Saturday, look on KSVY. It was only about an hour and a half long. Excuse me. They talked about the housing element, what that is, what it isn't, how it affects Sonoma Valley and the county. They talked about the SB 330 process, and there are a number of projects that have been submitted under that state legislation that dictates the timelines for consideration and the limitations on that. And then they did give an update on the general plan, and they've been working on 2 elements of the general plan that will be coming forward, and they will be planning some community meetings to do the public safety, and I've forgotten what other element it was. I think criminal justice maybe. So stay tuned. It's hasn't been released yet. I haven't seen a copy or had a briefing. It'll probably be later on this year, maybe this fall. So we'll let you know when we know.
Thank you. Any other public comment or comment from council? Celeste?
So regarding, I love that you brought up that it was discussed the wide variabilities in the word term affordable housing. And I'm wondering, was there somebody there that was able to sort of speak about those different tiers?
No, so the idea is to have someone to speak about those at a time where let's say the SDC project saying we're having 20% or whatever the percentage of affordable housing. Okay, fine. What do you mean by that? Are we talking this step or this step? So it's to help inform before that, to sort of prime the committee, so that we can actually ask questions that are important and not be wondering or trying to research in our heads on the spot when we're hearing specialist and arguably inaccessible language to a layman or layperson.
Yeah, I asked because I'm wondering if that's something, and when we get to future agenda items, we can discuss, but something that we would want to bring to the MAC as a discussion of bringing in some experts to talk about, the differences between what that range of affordable housing and then, what also is like income restricted housing where you have to make below a certain, at the poverty level effectively.
And then also worker housing.
In worker housing, yeah. I'm wondering if that's something that we, as we get to future agenda items, want to discuss, because it's something that continues to get brought up, and the word affordable housing gets sort of thrown around very loosely. And it means things very different. And I say that because I work with families where we've tried to access affordable housing, those units that are set aside as like 10% of a development, and the rent was $2,800 a month, and this family only made $2,400 a month total. So, even if they gave every penny they had, they couldn't live in the affordable housing. So I think that as a MAC, I love that was brought up at that meeting. And I think that's something as a MAC, we want to explore really getting some clear on that terminology, because I think it's used pretty loose and fast.
And you're right. There is wide variability and lack of understanding on the part of developers and everybody else about what constitutes workforce affordable. But there are very specific income limits that define low, very low, extremely low. And if you have sleepless nights, I would recommend that you look at the Permit Sonoma website under the housing element. It is full of good information and chock full of actions that the county could take. And part of it is renter protections, which is what's coming forward, and the public meeting for that. And the 2 projects, the HANA project and the SDC projects, are not approved projects yet for moving through the approval process. Permit Sonoma still has many, many conversations and questions for the developers, and modifications need to be made. So don't assume what even if you could find it on the obscure website of Permit Sonoma, don't assume that that is the project under consideration now, because modifications will have to happen.
Thank you. Any other comments on Item 8. Any public comment on item 8?
Thank you, Alan, for bringing us the information on these meetings, and we look forward to hearing more from you from those meetings. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Jack, for attending. Okay, we'll close item 8. Ad hoc and community projects updates. It is 2 minutes per update. As a little reminder.
Well, Adopt a Row, we're back in the seat. So current updates on this. I got a response from the Adopt a Road team. It seemed that the first application that was signed or approval didn't quite make it. So we've been sent all the qualifying information that we need, how much notice needs to be given, the volunteer forms, and video training requirements. And as a result, yay, compliance. And as a result, we're going to be pushing back the cleanup to probably sort of midsummer sometime, just based on I think there's a month requirement in advance. And with trying to get volunteers to sign these forms and watch the required training, it might be too much to ask for folks to do in the next week and a half or so. So that's currently the place that we're at.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bicycle racks.
So we have 5 bicycle racks given to the Spring SMAC by Sonoma County Public Transportation to decorate, wrap them. They are in the new office on Bonitas Avenue or Street? Lomita. On Lomita. And Iris, our attendee, Danny, and I are in this ad hoc. And we were trying to find out how to proceed on decorating these bicycles. And we are still talking about it, but Danny Contreras has told our presenter gave us a great idea that perhaps we can decorate these bicycles on the day of that he's planning to organize this event at Larson's Park, the color run, and then we can bring a booth, set up a booth, bring the bicycle racks, and ask the kids and the attendants to help us decorate them. That is an idea, but if you have more ideas about it, please let us know. And also, the beginning, we just wanted to do this very informally, but we're open to any suggestions. And eventually, these bicycle racks will have to go out. So Iris, and Danny, and then myself will find out to do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you. I love the color run idea. Okay, emergency preparedness.
Through the chair, real quick on that one.
Yeah.
I just want to offer my support to this ad hoc and the recruited community member before my last day, which is March 29th. So we can work on the press release and flyer if you decide to create one, and we can send it out.
Okay, I was at the future items, I was going to suggest an ad hoc for the color run or some kind of support. So maybe we could put that all together.
Sorry, I don't know if this ad hoc is taking it on or if they want a separate ad hoc. That's up to your council. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Can I speak to that? I would like to, if we want, we can collaborate and do this event and
Put the bike rack in the,
yeah, put a bike rack
and the,
there, and we will write the newsletter and the flyer and the press release.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay. All right. Do we need to change the title of the ad hoc or can it just continue as bike racks? Okay. Okay, so the bike racks are now going to collaborate on the run.
Racks / color run.
Okay. All right. Emergency preparedness.
Celeste and I met, with the school district, DM and, the Red Cross on the 26th of February. And I think the biggest takeaway was the fact that we need to update the current agreement, that was done with the school district. It really never got to the point that was an actual MOU because it never really went through the board. So Superintendent Shane did recommend that it follow, or that it go in that direction, and that something be put together to, actually, have a formal MOU, and, then be presented to the board. And Celeste and I met to kind of look over the document, so we're gonna have to present it for the next meeting, but I'll let Celeste speak to that. I know she was out, so but we know what direction we have to go forth. And so we just need to continue working on emergency preparedness. There's also with Metro Neighborhood, there's going to be a possibility to get funds from Fire Safe Sonoma to do outreach. They want to donate, believe it's $2,000 or just over. I think it was 2,000 or 2,500 for interpretation and for printing. And so that will, we need to, behalf of Metro Neighborhood, have to speak to SIS to see if they can be the fiscal sponsor to take that money, and then also collaborate with the emergency preparedness ad hoc to really get into the neighborhoods. But I'll let Celeste speak to what we spoke in regards to the agreement.
Yeah, so what we did is Maria Carmen and I met and we went over the agreement that we had, was very aged. It had, we were like, wow, that was some old information. And so we cleaned it up, we edited, we made it current. One of the main things that we did in it is it was listing a lot of people's names as to who was going to do things. And so we replaced names with roles because those individuals may change. So we did that. And so but I literally wrote it on a piece of paper and then I had to go to a work conference. So I'm going to type it up all nice and neat. And then we'll have those edits to present to the MAC, so that the council can look those over. And then another thing, when we had our meeting that included a member from the Red Cross, one of the things that we talked about in our meeting with the district and with the Red Cross is Altamira is the designated location for people in the Springs to go to in an emergency. However, Altamira is going to need to go through some seismic upgrades itself. That would not include the multipurpose room. The multipurpose room is a fairly newer building that is seismically sound and modern. It's the other buildings that are looking at getting a seismic upgrade. And so we talked to them about that, and consideration is, what if there's a giant earthquake? Would we run everybody to there? And so that piece is still in conversation. The challenge is unlike the city of Sonoma that has a large veterans hall and has the high school and has these larger, and Adele Harrison has like these more modern facilities in it that can hold a lot of people in an emergency. The Springs doesn't really have that. We pretty much have Altamira. We don't have a lot of facilities that I think could hold enough people. The multipurpose building at El Verano is pretty decent size, but I don't know that it is large enough to hold enough people should we have a large scale emergency. So it's just some things that we talked about and that we need to consider. I do know, because I wear more than one hat, There will be seismic upgrades to Altamira. It's not an if, it's a when. And it's gonna happen sooner rather than later because it's important. So, but it is something that I think that we need to consider now when we think about emergency preparedness. Really coming to terms with the fact that here in the Springs, we don't have very many large modern facilities that an entire community could evacuate to.
Thank you, Celeste. And also, one thing I forgot to mention was just the importance that, you know, at least we do get still have the permission through Altamira to be able to access the convex with the materials that are there, do an inventory and see what else we can get in there. I think there's maybe maximum like 40 cots in there. So we really need to see what else we can obtain and also with the MREs that they're going to be old. So we're gonna have to look for more MREs eventually. And one last thing is also I attended the UASI work group, which is urban areas securities initiative. And they actually chose based on just different reports and tools, they actually chose the Census Tract 1503, which actually coincides with evacuation zone 6E2, which is the one over the creek to the east, and from Verona Avenue up to Madrone with borderline Highway 12. And that actually came out to be the most hazardous census tract in Sonoma Valley, or even Sonoma County, because they chose it out of entire Sonoma County. And so the top two hazards, one is drought, but the one with 96% hazard is earthquake. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that we will be looking at into different potential projects that can be done to mitigate. There's going to be like a roadway or roadmap to resiliency to how to mitigate, you know, in case there's an earthquake or planning for an earthquake. And so that's a 2-year project, and I think it's only been, I think it's about technically started in August with like their planning, and then met with us the first time in January, and we are now going to go into our 4th meeting in April. Lots happening with the emergency preparedness, but that's our current update. So more to come in April. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, logo update. So we have a little bit of a predicament with our logo. The logo that we selected, the person does not live in Sonoma Valley. They actually don't live in the country. So we didn't know that at the time, and now we do. So we have a decision we need to make. Do we keep that logo? Do we do this all over again? Do we go with the second person? I think we weren't clear that said you had to live in Sonoma Valley. We just made some assumptions. So that's on us. But that's where we are with it. And I am open to any suggestions you may have.
I just want to congratulate the MAC because you're going global.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I have a question.
We're part of the world.
What,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
does this person have any sort of relation or to this?
That's one of our questions, and they do not.
So they just,
They saw it online and decided to contribute.
Is there anything prohibiting foreign person from contributing and who
No.
offered up online?
No,
Were the rules of selection that said you had to be a Sonoma resident?
nope. On us.
But then recognizing all the work and effort that's gone in with the MAC and the ad hoc committee, I would recommend that we pick something and we should stay with it and acknowledge that this person contributed because they saw this online and recognize they live in XYZ
Does
country.
the second runner-up, are they from the area? Do we know? Yeah.
I agree with Gil. I mean, we didn't make it clear that I didn't make it clear that they needed to live in the valley, just made some assumptions. So and people liked that, it won overwhelmingly, right? So that's the other piece of it. Do you want to say something, Celeste?
Yeah, I mean, so my feeling on this is this is lesson learned, right? I mean, we're volunteers and we're doing the best we can, but we've learned a lesson. And that in the future, when we do things like this, we need to put those specifications. I feel like though, because we didn't, and that is on us to rescind it, is not an honest representation of what we asked for. So while I love being hyper local and I always want to be hyper local and our intention was to be hyper local, we didn't specify that when we put it out there. So that's, I feel like it's more of just a lesson learned. But I would feel strange about saying you won, no wait, you didn't. Because we missed our due diligence in setting up the rules.
So the one on the screen on the bottom is the one that was selected.
I would like to suggest that we do it all over again, because we need to have in our minds that this effort is coming from the people that live in the Springs, and I don't want to discredit this person that is from India, but there is a incentive for the creation of such a logo, but I think that we should just do it again, all over again. Just figure out which people are from the area and do all again the competition and do again the Google form so that they can choose the logo. I think that that's we are the Springs Municipal Advisory Council, and like the people that are here are making us gonna make us accountable for such a thing. So we should redo everything all over again.
Here's the problem though, is we informed the person they won because we had no idea. It didn't even dawn on any of us that they were from somewhere else. We just assumed they were one of our community members because we're such like a tiny, like who's paying attention to the Springs? Like, I mean, I just wouldn't have thought it. And so we would now have to go tell that person you didn't win. And that person could say, no, your rules didn't say I had to live there. You informed me that I won, I win. And they could have a very sound, sorry to be that person, legal argument that they won. And so that is a piece of the consideration where I think all best intentions, but there is a piece in the legal aspect of it, in that we held a contest. We didn't say you had to live here. They submitted an entry. We told them they won. And if we were to rescind that, we could be opening ourselves up to something potentially more serious.
Iris.
I am sort of assuming that they entered the contest because they wanted the money. It seems to me if we make a decision that it's not okay, that it's from another country indeed, or even out of the valley, that they should be compensated for that. I would point out that their name is not on the logo as identifying them, so they're not going to get any credit in terms of name recognition. So, yeah, you know, and you're right, lesson learned. Who would have thunk that that somebody from another country would enter the contest, some obscure contest. It's a real lesson in the internet.
Jack.
Perhaps skirting on. It could be at this point, yes, you won. This is the logo. But what if there was another contest? I'm not saying there has to be. It still acknowledges the first. I'm getting an emotional oopsie from hearing this.
So I
agree with Gil. I mean, we already did word, everything's in public record already. And to go back and go our against our own word. And it is a lesson learned, and I think
the only way I feel comfortable going back and doing anything again is if we do compensate this person for their work. That's the only way that I could feel ethically that it was an okay thing to do. I'm quite frankly, this took almost 2 years to get to this point. I don't know that I want to do this again. So I'm happy to have someone else take it on if we decide that we want to redo the logo, but I feel like it's on us, on me, on the ad hoc that didn't catch it. We were more concerned about whether it was going to be the right amount, whether it was going to be the right size, and all those are the things those are the criteria we put forward. We did not say you needed to live in the Springs. So public comment? Yeah.
It is, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's very hard to make a logo, and I think you guys could have something that represents the spring a lot better. Maybe something that has a bit of agriculture in behind, you know, some grapevines or farm workers, something that relates to the Springs a little bit better. That logo looks pretty simple, in my opinion, and you could come up with something on Canva that's free to us. So
I think that's how the first logo was created. So anything else? Sorry.
no, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Can I, to Celeste's comment, I get it where you come from. We could be legally buying, you know, but we can just tell this person, sorry, but this is a community-based effort and you're not from the continent. So we need to I'm sorry to tell you, but this is not happening, and we had to just do it again. And I am, if anybody's worried that this is taking too much effort, I am volunteering to be in the ad hoc to start the process again. I just think that I don't think that we should have this logo as our logo because this person is not from the continent. But I agree with Maite. We should compensate this person for his efforts. That's all.
So this is we can vote on this. I am not comfortable without compensating this person. I'm okay with not using the logo and letting them know why, but I'm not okay with not compensating.
And I'm sorry, total brain moment. What was our compensation? What was our price again?
$400. 400, I think. 400.
400.
I feel the same. We can compensate them. I don't know that there was any guarantee that we'd use the logo, and I kind of doubt that they'll care, actually. So I think it's,
I think it was specified that the competition was to recreate, redesign the Springs Mac logo. So it was going to be used as the official logo in all campaigns and materials. So it's not safe to assume that they won't care. Thank you.
maybe we should look at the document and check it out, unless you're sure of that. If you're sure that that's what it said, that's fine, but maybe we should look at the document. Maybe you guys should look at the document, because
That was the purpose of this ad hoc, was to create a new logo that was going to be used for all campaign purposes.
I do understand that.
So I just want to throw this out here. I'm as somebody who has to like approve documents and stuff all the time, I just always have to be that person. And so I'm wondering if we actually want to table this and actually submit this to the county just to have county legal advice on the appropriate steps to take, because I don't want us to make a decision as a council that could get the county into any type of situation that makes it hard for them to get out of or costs them a lot more to get out of. And I'm not an attorney. I just play one on TV. And so I would like to defer to attorneys who actually know something about the law to advise. the
So we
council
would
next
only
steps.
need to defer to county council if we were choosing not to follow through of what we did, which was pay this person for $500 for that amount. So I think for what's before the council is, we have to make a decision that we went through a contest, we picked a logo, it took 2 years to make. And what's creating the pause is whether or not to pay this person because they live in a foreign country.
Well, I think, Karina, one of the points is when we put it out there, though, we did have stipulations that it was something that we would use. And so I'm again, one person up here, but I feel a little uncomfortable making that decision without legal taking a look at what did we put out there as our terms or our agreements, or what could be intimated as our terms or agreements. Because
And-
it's just a sticky area.
And I appreciate your advice and your question, and we certainly can run it past county council, and we can look at the wording of how we advertise this. I think a number of you suggest the fairest way of doing this is to reimburse the gentleman for the $100. Whether we decide to use the logo or not is a separate question. And so then you can decide, you all chose that logo, and it's a beautiful logo, so we might use it temporarily and then decide if that doesn't work, you can have another contest or someone can volunteer a new solution. But I think legally, we probably do owe this gentleman the $100.
500.
400.
400. Which limits our ability to afford a new logo. But if that is what we were advertising, then that is what I think we have an obligation to move forward with.
So can I make a suggestion for us to check with county legal, county council?
Yep, we
And
can do
then
that.
come back, and then once we have more information, make a decision.
And we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Does that mean that you'll take it to county council? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, and the first words out of my mouth every day are, have you contacted legal? So, yeah. So it's a good suggestion. All right, social media outreach, nothing's changed. I think maybe we can get here early one day and we can try to, I don't know, we've tried to move the accounts over, and I don't have the time to spend to figure it out, because I've tried a number of ways.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about? The
Social media.
Media. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Might be time to create new ones.
Yes. Utility boxes.
Yes, I have a presentation to show where we are so far. Thank you, Siren. All right, so the utility boxes art project. So Artscape hold hold a workshop on Wednesday, March 6th, from 4 to 6 p.m. For members of the community to attend these workshops and help with the elements of the of the art wrappings that are going to be in the utility boxes, and they're having another one on March 29 from 2 to 4, and that will be during spring break, so kids can attend these workshops. Yeah, so 2 workshops and a total of 13 attendees were in the workshop, all from different age groups, kids, teenagers, adults, and people from the our elders, and it was really fun. After the second workshop, the Comcast utility boxes will be decorated by I think that is by the end of March. The Caltrans utility boxes won't be decorated until the application is reviewed by Sonoma County Public Infrastructure and Caltrans until they approve. As you can see, there's beautiful pictures. This was a very gratifying moment that I think that like everybody should experience. I really saw like the talent in the community, and it was just a beautiful workshop, and we are all looking forward to get to see these utility boxes wrapped and hopefully having the Caltrans utility boxes decorated as well sooner than later.
Through the chair, just to add a little bit to that, since I'm working with the Caltrans proposal, which is at 166 pages right now. It's slowly moving forward, but it is. The
got
good
an
news
email.
is the Comcast boxes will move way faster. March 12th, this Tuesday, yesterday, we got an update from Artiscape that says on Thursday, March 28th from 10 a.m., 5 p.m., Kaya, the artist, and her team will be doing the prep work on the boxes. This is again for the Comcast boxes. There's 3 Comcast boxes that you identified. On March 29th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Kaya and a select group of teens and artists will split into 3 groups to begin painting on the boxes. So at the end of the month. And Friday, the 29th from 2 to 4 is the last scheduled workshop, open to all ages because there's more work for the other boxes. So all that to say that by the end of the month, the Comcast boxes will be painted. And in April, we'll see some beautiful boxes.
That's
in the spring.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. Thank you. Jesus, you've been the driver, you and Karina, on this, so thank you both so much. Okay, any comments on ad hoc?
So the question is, if I want to join an ad hoc committee, how do we go through that process as a new person?
I think that we just have to nominate, is it the emergency ad hoc? We just have to nominate you. Yeah, how many are on? Anyone want to name? Thanks, Susan.
I didn't want to interrupt your conversation. Thank you for joining. I wanted to thank especially our two new members. Great contributions tonight. Thank you for joining the MAC. Thank you all for your hard work. And Iris, let's schedule a coffee or a lunch. Yes, compare our hair colors. And thank you all. And I'm leaving early tomorrow, so I'm gonna boogie on.
Bye, Susan. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Would someone like to nominate Gil to the Emergency Ad Hoc Committee?
I would like to.
Okay, who's nominating?
I was gonna nominate since earlier, but I was like, let me respect. I'm glad you want to be
Okay,
nominated.
so you're nominating?
Nominating Gail Dong.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Lindsay, is there an ad hoc you want to join?
I'd like to propose an ad hoc.
Okay, we'll do that at future.
Okay.
Well, no, we could do this in ad hoc. Go ahead. What's your?
Okay, possibly potentially bringing back the Springs Farmers Market. And hopefully, I can come up with a budget request at the next meeting, but I'd like to add that if you guys are open to that.
Anyone interested in starting a Springs market
It's bringing back the
Farmers
farmers
market.
market.
ad hoc?
Where is the location?
The location is at the,
Plaza.
yeah, the plaza.
I can support because I think I actually volunteered or when they had the farmer's market both at the parking lot and then when it used to be at Larson.
Mhm.
So they were at both locations. Happy to support
Awesome,
or to be part of the ad hoc.
awesome.
Is there a motion to create an ad hoc?
So moved.
Second,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now who's going to be on the ad hoc with Lindsay?
I would like to nominate myself.
Okay, I second Mari Carmen's nomination.
Farmers.
I'd like to say aye to that.
Because of the experience of, I was there when the previous farmer's market.
Okay, so Mari Carmen and Lindsay on the ad hoc, and is there a nomination for Mari Carmen and Lindsay for the ad hoc?
I'll make a nomination.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, got it. Anybody, Gil second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Beautiful. All right.
Chair Torrey, one more
Yes.
thing. On the bicycle rack 2.0 ad hoc, Iris is leaving, so it leaves Jesus as
By
the only
himself.
council. Yeah. Well, we have a community member, of course.
And Iris is going to stay.
Right, but I'm just putting it out there. If any other council members want to join, there is an opportunity. Don't have to, but just throwing it out.
I would like to be involved in the color run and I can help with the bicycle racks as well.
Okay, nomination for Lindsay on the bicycle rack / color run.
So moved.
Second,
Aye.
all in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, right on. Okay, consideration of future agenda items. There's one thing, I've got 3 things, Karina, or 2. Can we follow up on the cover plate on boys and Comstock? That you got it? Okay. And then affordable housing, what does it actually mean? Can we get somebody from the Sonoma County Housing Element?
We might be able to talk Fred out
Or
about.
can we
it.
just send the information that's from Permit Sonoma via email on what they define as very low, extremely low?
I suggest a presentation.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we will, Syra's adding to
That'll
the
be very
list,
popular.
clarification on affordable housing through Permit Sonoma, so a presentation from Permit Sonoma.
I'm wondering if it's possible to also get somebody from HUD to talk about housing vouchers and some of the challenges around that. I think it would be great to just have a housing item
Yep,
and talk about those things.
we have shared housing too. Jack?
Based on the comments tonight and also SBCAC. I definitely think we should agendize the parking lot issue at is it 22 Boys Boulevard? I think that's the address. So we can get some discussion and more information on what's actually going on there, as was alluded to by Supervisor Gorin.
Okay. Anything else? The parking lot and the plaza. Galvin, Lindsay.
Just because I have big interest in the general plan, or specifically the Springs housing plan or element, and or both the safety element of the county's general plan.
Did you get that? Lindsay?
And I think my thing is the same as what you had said previously, but a presentation from Permit Sonoma for projects coming to the Springs for awareness.
Okay. And just to set expectations, it takes months to get all of this on agendas. So it's not, and we try to limit it to 1 or 2 things per agenda item. So this is probably the next 9 months of agendas. Yeah.
And just for information requests on the parking lot, if we can find out how many code enforcement responses have been filed. Because they're the ones who would usually handle blighted properties versus any of the law enforcement. So we have a record of the complaints and any action taken by code enforcement.
So thank you. Any other?
Yes. Because of the bicycle racks on the color run event, it's very right now ambiguous. And perhaps we will need funding for the event. I would like that we also have that in consideration for future or consideration of future agenda items so that we can tackle this.
You can bring it forward with your ad hoc report at the next meeting.
But remember the
Yeah, the
event,
proposals
the event is on April 21st, so
we
you
should
have to
be
move
proposing I don't have
When's our
a,
next meeting?
the second Wednesday of April,
So like,
which is like maybe 2 weeks before the event.
It's on April 10th.
yeah, he was not, he wasn't, attached to that date.
Oh,
all right, so we'll talk.
Okay. Thank you.
good to know.
Okay, on April 10th, we have a request from Senderos Alma Shaw from the Ecology Center. We have share housing, Amy Appleton, and senior transportation options, because those have been the ones that have been hanging on for a while. Are we still, did they write back and say there were Amy Appleton, yes? And senior transportation, yes?
The Senderos Naturales is confirmed.
Okay.
Share housing, email confirmation was sent. Senior transportation options, an email invite was sent, but we have not received confirmation.
Okay, so who am I meeting with between now and to maybe make readjustments?
You will meet with both Syra and I. And then
Excellent.
Moving forward, Syra will take over
All right,
in
thank
the
you.
interim.
So we need to find a date pretty quick. Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, the last item, nominations.
We need to check for public comment.
Is there any public comment on future items? So appreciate you all. Oh, Mario Castillo has a comment. He's online.
Mario, when you see the screen, you can start talking.
Can you hear me there?
Yes.
Awesome. Good evening, Mario Castillo, resident of El Verano. So I just wanted to quick comment in regards to public comment. Oftentimes, public comment is really skipped and is not called on. And just a point of order. I think that that's important. I also wanted to comment that on the way nominations happen in terms of ad hoc and when public is invited to participate or engage. The way it was decided tonight is kind of arbitrary because it was not announced. So perhaps whenever that's happening, perhaps people may want to become or actively participate in this ad hocs and letting people know if it's on the agenda, then maybe it's a better way to do it. So I just wanted to throw that idea. And then my comment as well on regards to housing. I mean, we have the housing group. I happen to be the chair of the housing group, who has been actively advocating on housing issues. So make use of the work and knowledge of some amazing advocates that have been doing the work for a long time here in the Valley, who actually are connected to the issues, to the local issues. But it's a choice, and oftentimes I feel like the MAC it's a bit could do a better job in terms of being more connected to the community. The fact that you ended up selecting someone for the logo that lives who lives out of the country just goes to show how disconnected you could be from actually being connected to the people here in the Valley that you actually represent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would like to respond to that. If only more people will come to this meeting, we'll gladly take on volunteers for our ad hocs, but there's not a lot of people coming to our meetings, and we would love more people from the community to attend this meeting and create ad hocs, but they don't want to be involved. And we can do a better work announcing these ad hocs, and thank you for your comment.
Okay. Chair nominations.
I would like to nominate Celeste Winters as our chair, and Celeste and chair Mighty Tori to help her transition during the process.
I will decline. And just not, I know, it's just, I'm not at a place in my life right now where I could take something like that on. And if I were to take something like that on, I would want to give it 100%. But right now, I have too many moving parts on another hat that I wear that takes up roughly 30 hours a week of my time on top of my job. So it's something I would love to do in the future, but just at this point in time right now, I don't have the actual hours in the week to take that on. But thank you, flattered.
Point of clarification. Did I hear when you made the announcement, you said you would be chair for 6 months, or you're going to be on the board for 6 more months?
So what I said is I let Susan know I'd seek another, I don't know if I will stay the entire term, but that I would stay for 6 months as chair if it was decided by the board, by the council, to help with the transition between Zyra, the new members, and then I have as many of us here really busy. So I would like to stay and help, but if it's not the pleasure of the board, I'm totally okay not staying.
I would still like to nominate Chair Turi to continue being chair, and that the current vice chair or any other board member can learn how, what it means to chair or how it works. And that we understand that, based on what she's saying, that she could only commit to 6 months, correct? Yes. So I think that will give us enough time then for all of us, because any of us could be nominated, to consider and the responsibility and the commitment and what it takes to be a chair. So I think it would actually be a good transition for us as well to for that learning curve. So I keep my nomination for Cherry Terry to continue being chair.
I think there is an official clarification to make here that this is a vote for specifically 2024 to 25 chair. What happens in those 12 months? We don't know about. What we're doing tonight is nominating for the full term, and then it is at the discretion of said individual who is nominated whether they decide to break that term, as all of us are able to do at any point should we so wish. So I just want to make that as a technical clarification, because otherwise, if we're talking about a term less than what's stated on the agenda, then are we in violation of Brown Act? Potentially, yes. Is it unclear? Sorry to be that stickler.
No, that's fair. We either vote on it for the year and I leave in 6 months, or we bring it back if I'm selected again.
So there was a motion on the floor. I'm going to second, which is to retain you as chair. And we can figure out with that time that we have to figure out amongst us who can fill your shoes. To give you the break that you want and need. And I know there's a lot of people here that can fill those shoes, or you can get.
Not sure about that. I don't think I can fill it, but that's why giving us some time to learn if we can.
Because yeah, to the point, there's a learning curve. And I think that because we have new members, and I think we have some new members that have really great skills. But I think that giving that time to have that learning curve to those who are interested to sit closer physically to the chair and sort of learn the nuances that happen in being a chair would be super helpful and less intimidating to step into that role. I think it sometimes can feel like a very intimidating role if you've never done it before.
Somebody would be better at identifying public comment than me.
I think it's the for me it's the jet lag from Sunday, from the time change.
So there's again, if there's somebody else who wants this role, I'm totally willing to give it up. So there's a first and a second.
Yes,
Oh,
I
wait.
nominated you
And I second.
So all in favor? I mean,
Aye.
you,
Wait, do we have to take public comment on this?
Oh, yes.
is it before we, okay, public comment.
Is there? I don't know if Mario's hand is up from the last time or the first time. It looks like Mario and Marcos both want to make a comment.
Okay.
Take your name tag, absolutely.
I was actually I forgot to lower my hand, but since I've been given the floor, I'm happy to make a comment. If I could, I would 100% support the idea of having Cherry Terry continue, especially if it's intended to mentor a good, efficient, and caring chairperson for the MAC, as she's been to this board, to this group, because God knows that we need that. And I'm hopeful that some of the members will step up and actually do try to fill your shoes, Ms. Terry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo.
Next person on Zoom, when you are ready, go ahead and talk.
Thank you. Good evening, Marcos Suarez again. I just wanted to make a suggestion just for the whole board or council to get training for everyone provided, empower everyone so that they feel that any of them can potentially want that position as chair at any point. That way there's no issues like these in the future. somebody could come in and do training and about the in terms of whether it's Robert Rules of Order, whatever, however you guys are running the meetings, and that way it would help. Just a suggestion.
Thank you. Okay. Any more comment? Will we vote? Can we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Pardon me? Yay. And
To adjourn.
wait, hold on one thing to, well, we can do it another time. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I would like to adjourn in the name of two people.
Absolutely.
I would like to adjourn first in the name of Val Robichaud, from Sonoma Valley Sun, who was one of the most kind-hearted, truly community journalists, that gave so much to our community. Thank you, Val, for everything. And I also do want to adjourn in one of the gentlemen that actually lived in this plaza that actually passed away on March 3rd. I think one of the things that we really need to do is how do we actually get services for people that are dealing with substance abuse, and that they're there for a reason, and to see really the roots behind everything else, because they're people, you know. So I would like to honor Alberto Moya. Thank you.
Through the chair, I'd like to add a third adjournment in honor of my aunt, Micaela Michel Garcia, who passed away a week ago. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Mari Carmen, thank you for saying that. We tend to dehumanize people, so I appreciate you saying that. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's your last second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right. Good.